Here's a couple of reasons why you do not need the Xbox Series X, and you should just get this one instead. This is the Xbox Series S, and over the next few days, you're gonna see lots of content and lots of videos of people talking about the bigger brother, the Xbox Series X. I'm actually here to tell you, you don't need a Series X. Shock, horror, I know. But seriously, it's actually true. I really like shiny, fancy new things. You like shiny, new, fancy things, obviously. But you know that shiny, fancy, new fridge-style console? You don't actually need it. The little sister is perfect, and I'm gonna tell you why. First, the pretty obvious one, it's the price, right? The Xbox Series S comes in at only 6,999 Rand in comparison to the X, which is gonna cost you 11,999 Rand if you're in South Africa. I'll put the dollar price in the description of this video. That's a big drop in cost. And for comparison, keep in mind that the Xbox Series S is 1,000 Rand cheaper than a Nintendo Switch currently is. Those currently retail at 7,999 Rand. In all fairness, the Xbox Series X is also cheaper than an iPhone 11, but you get my drift, right? The bottom line is the pandemic has hit us all really hard. People have lost their jobs, everyone is struggling. Some folks I know have had to take pay cuts. I don't want to sit here and tell you that you need to sell a kidney and a liver so that you can go and get the latest console. I want to tell you that you can still have a console, have fun playing on it, and not necessarily go into huge amounts of debt. So whether you're dropping cash or whether you are going to buy on credit, you don't have to buy the premium one. The Series S does everything you need it to do, and it's going to come in at a far more affordable price point, which I think is really important to consider. Believe it or not, even with that price drop, you're actually not losing out. I know, you don't believe me, let me explain why. Let's do a quick spec comparison, right? So the Xbox Series S has the exact same frame rate and CPU as the Series X. It has less storage than the X. I think it's sitting on a 512 gigabyte SSD versus the 1 terabyte on the X. But you can actually just buy additional storage to plug it in. Microsoft's gonna do a storage extender that they're gonna sell, or you can just get an external hard drive to put games on that you aren't necessarily playing. So storage isn't the huge problem that you really think it might be. It also doesn't have as powerful a GPU as the Series X, but that actually doesn't matter. Here's why. The Series S has a resolution of 1440p with 4K upscaling versus the X, which has an 8K resolution. So that less powerful GPU isn't gonna affect you as much because you don't have that 8K option that you have on the Series X. I have said X and S so many times that even I'm starting to get confused, but just bear with me. That resolution stuff as well actually means nothing if you're not balling with a 4K TV or monitor. I told you earlier, I like fancy new things. I do not have a 4K TV. I do not have a 4K monitor. Therefore, none of that matters. I don't need the 8K option that the Series X is coming with. It's nice to tell your friends, but in all honesty, you're not gonna be using it, so does it really matter? The only might upset you, but probably won't really affect you issue that I can find with the Series S in comparison to the Series X is the fact that it doesn't have a disk drive, right? So no hard copies are gonna be able to be purchased and used. Everything is going to be digital. This is a toughie unless you have a mom with an uncapped fiber line that allows you to bring your console to update during family dinners. Sorry, mom. But jokes aside, I don't actually have an issue with this purely because I do have a fiber line, obviously in my house, and maybe you do as well. And I tend to use Xbox Game Pass Ultimate on my PC already. If you're not sure, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is basically a subscription service that you pay each month, and then you get access to this giant library of games. They've also announced that the Origin library is going to be coming to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate soon as well. Ignore all of that. All that means is you can get FIFA without buying the game, guys. FIFA on your Xbox and your PC. That's gonna happen. Anyway, like I said, subscription service, right? So instead of having to buy the actual game for like 1,000 Rand and download it, or a hard copy, which again won't work on this console because it doesn't have a disk drive, all you need to do is sign up for the subscription. So it normally costs around 150 Rand a month, but it's actually on special at the moment for less than 16 Rand. And then you can go on, choose the games you want to play, and you can play them with your friends. You just pay every month. There's so many games that are available to you. So the whole Xbox Series S not having a disk drive doesn't really affect me. probably won't affect you either. There is one final thing I want to talk about, and this has actually got nothing to do with the Series X or the Series S comparison. I think I've covered everything there. It really just has to do with one opinion that I have about the brand new Xbox console, whether it's the X or the S. That is obviously the controller. I love this controller, I love the shape of it, I love the feel, but please, please, for the love of all things video games, technology, and small baby unicorns, can we stop with the batteries in the back of the controller? Can we just make it rechargeable? No one buys batteries anymore. They're shitty on the environment. They're horrible. You forget about them, please. That has to end. Thank you for coming to my battery TED Talk. Basically, Microsoft and Xbox have made something super small. I think it might be the smallest console so far outside of the Nintendo Switch, and also super sweet that does everything you need it to do, and you really don't need the flagship. You can get everything you want from the Series S. You won't feel like you're missing out. This is a boss console. Spend less, get the S. I should trademark that. They should put it on a billboard somewhere. I'll send my bill to Xbox in a bit. I know at this time I'm supposed to tell you to like and subscribe and comment on this video and share it with your mom and all of that stuff, but I feel like I basically just did that there with that sentence, so I'm not gonna do that. I do wanna let you know though that I was sent an Xbox Series S to review by Microsoft and Xbox. No money changed hands, but they did send me the console early so that I had access to it so I could create this content for you. It drops on the 10th of November. Here in South Africa, pre-orders are open as well. I believe that they've got more consoles shipping, so you should be able to get your hands on one. They're not sold out just yet. And also, if you have not enough money and this really isn't a purchase you can make right now, it makes complete sense during COVID, the pandemic, all of that. So I have actually partnered with a bunch of brands that are giving away various consoles on different competitions. And if you follow me on social media, you'll be able to see all of that. We've got everything from like Reebok to Pringles to Kellogg's. It's all going on. So if you want to try win one, I have some suggestions as well. My social media is all linked below. And I think that was everything. Or if you wanted to see an Xbox Series X, sorry for you. I can't because my mouth is just getting so tongue-tied with all the X's and the S's and the